Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the I'm Only Serious News Network's Sunday Paper program. Today is December 7th, a date that shall live in infamy because the Eagles lost to the Seahawks. That and World War II started, but the Eagles lost. Coming up in this week's news, some talk on Ferguson and the New York City police departments, and not being indicted with their killer cops. Bill Cosby is also still in the news, where his date total is now up to 24 and counting. Way to go, Bill. The British Royals are in New York, have taken New York actually, by storm. This time without all the ships in the battles. Rolling Stone magazine has retracted its story on the rapist of West Virginia, or Virginia University. And Israeli jets are now bombing the capital Syria, which means, folks, start storing your food because the Armageddon is near. These stories and more, along with John Smarmy and his brown eye on the world, Darren Martinez and his movie views and reviews, John Rice with his gaming updates, and our very own Ron Morrow and his Mystic Minute. All on tonight's episode of I'm Only Serious News Network's Sunday Paper program.
It's the I'm Only Serious News Network with Dan Mahan, John Smarmy, John Rice, Dave Morrow, and Darren Martinez.
The nation's gone bananas these last few weeks, as folks in both Ferguson, Missouri, and New York have found out that their killer cops will not be charged. And yes, the pun was intended. After seeing a video of the chokehold, President Obama decided a good idea would put cameras on cops. So apparently citizens' video clips of cops killing innocent citizens, just not enough. And the Brits have come back to New York. This time it's the British royals, the royal couple, Prince William and Princess Kate. Of course, they were startled when crossing over a grate in the sidewalk, a blast of air came up and blew her dress up, thus creating the first true royal flush. Yes, flush with embarrassment. And Rolling Stone magazine retracted their story of the University of Virginia rape victim and the gang rape that she had described to them in their last month's edition, saying her story couldn't be verified, thus adding Rolling Stone to the list of rapists for the poor girl. Please, cracker. Speaking of rapists, Bill Cosby has crossed the double dozen mark, with his victims now including Playboy bunnies. Aren't they part of the party favors when you go to the mansion? Cracker, please. But he's raping Playboy bunnies. What's next for old Bill? Mr. Ed? We'll have to see. But with more news on the nation and the world, let's turn it over to our very own John Smarmy. It's one brown eye on the world. Smarmy?
Thanks, Dad. Hey, folks. A little bit of a hiatus, but we're back. Let's talk about what's in the news. So, Dad was talking about Bill Cosby, and speaking of Bill Cosby and his rape allegations that begin to surface every week, the victims are similar to the audience in his stand-up act. They will fall asleep, and then wake up half sleepy, and then feel taken advantage of. I know I used to when I was a kid. I used to watch his act, but everybody's a critic. There was a store stabbing suspect that claims to be a pirate from 1776. Yeah. He tried to use scissors to stab an employee at a market. If you haven't seen his mugshot, he looks like the Northeast Comedy Cabaret's Herbert McKay. My girlfriend? This show is too inside. It would never get views. But anyways, I see the article of the best Seinfeld quotes. Speaking of Seinfeld, my favorite Seinfeld quote is when Kramer went to the Laugh Factory and... Whoops, let's not talk about that. I still pleasure myself to that video, but enough when it gets my rocks off. Right, Dad?
Yeah, that's right.
In the streets of Los Angeles, a 90-mile police chase ends with a suspect on a skateboard. For you video game fans, it's like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater meets GTA. How would you like to see that? Very awesome. Burger King employee finds $100,000 in a backpack while he was cleaning up the store at the end of the night. And here at the iOS studios, we have a few Burger King former employees, and they would have found that money, they wouldn't be here today, and you would be wasting your life. We all know that. I don't want to be here myself, and that's why, Dan, I'm swinging it back over to you. John Smarmy, I'm only serious news.
Thank you, Smarvin. Well, as mentioned, today is December 7th, a date that was supposed to live in infamy. And it does. To many of the World War II vets who are still around with us. Our president at the time, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, had a much less famous saying, but none the more important. When he stated, "I've been in war, and I've been in First Lady Eleanor. I prefer war." Yeah, said that right after the whole Hawaii bombing thing, Pearl Harbor. Just didn't make the headlines. But in sports, Tiger Woods returned to the links this week and came in last. Not only did his game suck, but he vomited on the course during his play on Sunday. Though he did finish Sunday with a 69, which means he's back. He's just got to get it turned around a little bit. Also in sports today, the Eagles lost a big game to the Seattle Seahawks. Terrible. Our only hope in this city, and they're killing us because the Flyers are losing and the Sixers suck. There you go. It's better for sports. And our normal sports book guy, Rob Watkins, had a good day today. Won a few games, got his bike back, which means he might be here next week, folks. But until then, I'm going to turn it over to our gaming review guy. Let's give it up for John Rice. John?
Hey. So, first game I want to talk about, I'm actually not a fan of, but I want to talk about it anyway. Because if you want to sit around and watch everyone else's responsibilities of life and make sure they do them instead of doing your own responsibilities of life, get The Sims. Seriously.
Classic.
Yeah. Until when you play it on a video game, it's like, oh man, now I gotta make him eat. I gotta make him pee. I gotta make him shower. I gotta make him sleep. I gotta make him talk to his mom. I gotta you're playing a video game in someone else's life. But like someone like my life, you know, like I'm watching someone else play video games on TV. It sucks. Don't get it.
Maybe somebody's playing a video game with our lives, and they're fucking with you. That's something that Ron Moore can find out for us later,
Are
probably.
we all in a video game?
Could
This
be.
blew my mind. I'm about to cry. Alright. I'm sorry. Turn it up a little bit. But no, I went out and I bought San Andreas for PlayStation 2. Realized didn't have a game in it again. So as another kid was leaving the store, I took his and it had a game in it. Yeah. So I was thinking, now I'm only buying video games that come in clear cases. That's my solution. What's yours? But for wackier news, apparently this game exists. WWE Crush Hour. Yeah. They made it. You know Twisted Metal? Yeah. It's that, but with wrestling characters. It's adorable. Game. That's someone else go buy it for me. But yeah, comes with a book of like buttons to press. It's not as big as the other books I'm used to. It's not a compendium. But yeah, the graphics are typical GameCube, and you can tell they used the graphics for The Rock from The Mummy Returns when he played the Scorpion King, and they just put him in top like a bulldozing yellow vehicle thing and had, you know, other wrestlers try to kill him.
Is that how big the disc are for that game system?
Yeah, that's the Nintendo GameCube.
I
That's
don't know that.
their mistake.
Put them too small.
No, it's just, you know how everyone has a mistake. Well, Nintendo's mistake was GameCube. They woke up one day, they had a GameCube, and they're like, let's just sell it. See what happens.
So did you buy all your games at the same store?
I had to stop buying my games at the one store because of the no game issue.
Yeah.
But apparently they knew each other. So Yeah, now I gotta find a new game store. Sorry. By the way, if your kid's watching that I took the game from, no. Yeah. Oh well. Sorry. That's it.
It wasn't you.
It wasn't me. It was me. I'm gonna enjoy it. All right. Thanks, Dan. Back to you.
Thank you, Rice. Crush hour. Okay, folks. From video games to video movies, let's get our updates and our reviews from our very own Darren Martinez. Darren?
Thanks, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
As I do every Sunday, I went to the movies and I saw The Pyramid, starring a bunch of people that no one knows their names because they're not famous yet.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And
I didn't hear about that.
well, there's a reason why they're not famous, and because they were horrible actors. I'm sorry if any of you guys ever get to see this. Probably it's not gonna happen, but yeah, they weren't good. They were just not good actors. They weren't able to sell it, but what they lack in acting, the director was able to make up for in just the tone, the tension, the sound design. The editor did a real good job, and I enjoyed it in the end. It was a fun, cheesy, campy horror movie.
Yeah. Something along
It was a
lines.
monster movie, and I love monster movies. And usually I'm real picky about like the monsters. A lot of monsters in a lot of these films like end up being some lady with like powder on her face, just something real cheesy. In this one, they had an actual monster, which they take time to design, and it was good. It was fun, very fun film.
Is it like a modern people go back into the pyramid?
Yeah, it was just
Like
like,
a government
a
agent stuff.
father-daughter archaeologist team discover a pyramid, and they go in it to explore it. And of course, there's a reason why this pyramid was not supposed to be found. It's holding something in it. So interesting enough. I enjoyed it, but what it made me do is it made me want to go home and watch The Mummy, because I own The Mummy on DVD. I've probably already recommended this film probably like 26
That's a
times
good film,
already.
I like that.
But I'm going to recommend it again because I saw the film, and if you're going to plan to go see The Pyramid, I mean, they're completely different films.
Sounds like the same story, though. That's what they do.
Well, the monster in The Pyramid kind of reminds me of some of the designs in these films. So, I mean, you can use that as a way to kind of connect the two if you've ever felt like doing it. But before that film started, The Pyramid, there was a trailer for a film called Chappie. I don't know if you heard of it. It was
Chappie.
Hugh Jackman and the producers of District 9. Did you see District 9?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty good.
Well, this film kind of feels like District 9 in a sense of the way it was shot. But it's about a robot who, like some kind of like, I want to say like a Middle Eastern guy makes. And if you saw the trailer, you would swear it was a Short Circuit remake under the name of Chappie. So that's the
yeah.
reason why I brought it Middle Eastern, because it was just, there's so many similarities. He's nerdy, and even there's a part in the film where the robot says like "I'm alive" or something like that. I was like, come on, please, seriously. And what that made me want to do is it made me want to go home and watch Short Circuit.
The original.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. I don't know if I want to watch The Mummy, Short Circuit. One of them I'm probably gonna watch, but maybe I won't, because it is Christmas time next week. We are going to have our Christmas episode, and I'm going to be excited. I hope you guys are excited for that. And because it's Christmas time, and next week I will probably just recommend 3 different films if we go that route. Hint, hint.
The Drummer Boy.
But this week I'm going to say go ahead and watch Jingle All the Way. Terminator 5 Genesis trailer just hit the internet. So Arnold's back. He's
Another
back up
Terminator?
there, and he's back. He said he would be back, and he's back. So
Damn.
check him out, Jingle All the Way. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, holiday film to watch. Why? Because Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it. That's enough for
Really?
me. Yeah. And of course Phil Hartman. I love Phil. Who doesn't love Phil Hartman?
Yeah.
Sinbad.
Yeah. And Sinbad, of course. Thanks, Rice. But okay, so that's it. Those are my recommendations, and back over to you, Dan.
Speaking of the Mummy. Egyptian theme going on tonight. And a little Short Circuitry was one of my favorites when my kids were young. But now to see if we can find out anything about this mystery, why don't we just go and ask our very own Ron Morrow in his Mystic Minute. Ron?
Yes, thank you, Dan. I am Ron Morrow, and this is the Mystic Minute for this week. As Dan mentioned earlier, I would like to take a moment to speak of The Mummy. Fantastic film. I actually had the chance to meet the man Arnold Vosloo, who portrayed the Mummy. But it turns out that he's actually that. Kind of an asshole in person. His face kind of flakes off. It's not a pretty sight. Yeah. But I would like to take this evening to speak of my recent encounter with the mythological being known as Jack Frost. You all may be familiar with his legend. He's a little mischievous little sprite who likes to prance about the astral fields in sort of a frozen, sing-songy way, since he has, you know, the entire ethereal realm to wander about. And it's bringing the cold sooner and sooner each year. So I choked him out mid-song. He was kind of distracted because he has all his little snowflake friends, and yeah. So we shouldn't be hearing from him anytime soon, but winter is here to stay. Have a good evening, folks.
Once again, Ron, thanks for clearing that up. Speaking of clearing it up, that about wraps up our show for tonight. So we thank you once again for your viewership out there. Hey, so you tune in again next week for the next edition of the I'm Only Serious News Network Sunday Paper program, where our very own Tony Viejo will be joining us probably on a regular basis now as he starts a new job. Same industry, different company. Well, that's it for us. Remember, today is a day that shall live in infamy. Good night.